Have Arsenal just guaranteed themselves the Premier League title? Well, throughout the majority of last season, whether you are someone in love with Mikel Arteta or you've wanted him out for many years, one thing that had universal agreement is that with a world-class, with a top-level predatory goal scorer, Arsenal fans truly believe they would have kept pace with Liverpool and maybe pipped them to a league title. In fact, in the last 3 seasons, a lack of a number 9, an out-and-out predatory, high-level, top-level goal-scoring number 9 was the reason, in many Arsenal fans' eyes, whether you're Arteta in or out, that was the reason why they didn't win the league, or the biggest reason why anyway. But now the here we go will land for Viktor Gyökeres. He will become an Arsenal player in the eyes of many a Gooner around the world. As a Man United fan, I'm gutted. I wanted him. Us losing to Spurs has created this knock-on effect, which is absolutely gutting. But what I won't do is suddenly pretend out of nowhere that I don't rate Viktor Gyökeres. I've not wanted him at my club for the past couple of years. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a liar. I'm not that kind of content creator. Hit the like and the share button for us. Please make sure you are subscribing as well. Make sure you're getting that done. Let's put the right overlay in there because it wasn't on the screen. But for me, this is an excellent piece of business. And I've rated this guy for a long time, and he just brings so much to Arsenal. But the big question is, can he win them the league? Can he be that final piece of the jigsaw? The answer is quite simply yes, he could be that. There is no doubt about it. The finishing is elite. It's elite. This man, high volume of goals scored, massive clinical and clutch moments. The volume of goals and assists in his 103 games for Sporting Lisbon soars past 100%. So in over 100% of his games, he creates or he scores a goal. And yes, you will have some people that will say, it's not just a killer instinct. A lot of it, Terry, is penalties. Because Saka scored a big penalty for Arsenal a few years ago against West Ham, they may have been champions of England. And that is not a dig at Bukayo Saka, but it's the importance of being brilliant at penalties under pressure. If Arsenal last season had more penalty takers of a Gyokeres level, they may have knocked Manchester United out of the FA Cup. These things are important. The second area is the physicality. He will bully a lot. A hell of a lot of Premier League defenders. There's no doubt about that in my mind. He stands at around 6'2". He has explosive power and strength and a good amount of speed. He is no slouch. A lot of people don't even realise this. And for me, he's the kind of guy that will dominate a lot of duels. He also fits, and the third reason I pick here is he fits the system very well. A lot of Arsenal fans keep talking about, he's too transitional. He's too transitional. Well, go look up the facts. Over double the amount of goals in the Prem are scored in transition versus Portugal. And Arsenal were awful, or have been for the last season or two, awful in the transition. And on every match reaction, their fans complained in my phone-ins. The podcasts I listen to, consistently hearing we need to do better in the counter-attacks. We need to be better in transition. Arsenal are relentless pressers, and so is Gyokeres. This is just a cast-iron fact. But they don't always have the players to finish off those moves when they win the ball back high. And Gyokeres has that. If I was to put him, in terms of his pressing ability, coupled with his finishing, imagine Gabriel Jesus with Haaland's physicality and finishing. That is what you have if Arteta can optimize him to his very best. And another area that goes unnoticed with Viktor Gyökeres, and this is a real scary factor, is the space that he creates and the opportunity he creates for others. So whether it's Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka, or the Ezes, the Sakas, the Rodrigos that Arsenal were also linked with, Gyokeres draws defenders out of their lines, away from their lines. He disrupts them. He's excellent at doing that. What this is going to do is free up space. Harry Kane was a master at this in the Premier League, where he would drop, in the days where he was playing with, I don't remember his name, Dele Alli. Harry Kane would drop deep it would create a hole. What normally used to happen is a centre-back would go with him. This would create space for Dele Alli to run into. Gyokeres can do this by dropping into a midfield area or by moving out into the channels. He is a traditional number 9 who doesn't just tap the ball in from 6 yards out. There is a variety to his game. He will help turn Arsenal's front three into a more fluid and unpredictable force, I'm sure of it. And for me, it's big games as well. Big games and big moments. If you go back and look at his sporting career, this man thrives under pressure. That penalty with the last kick of the game in the last moment of the match against Benfica to equalise, for them to go on and do the double, that is just one of many times this season and last year that he has come up trumps. The amount of opening goals, goals to kill games off, winners that he has hit in matches is fantastic. And from my point of view and perspective, I am gutted as a Manchester United fan that this has happened, but it's a huge deal. This is a player that even Arteta out has wanted. But I think and why this is even more important is, yes, you have the Arteta outers that have been calling for strikers. This is the man outside of Isak that's at the top of their list. So this gets universal approval from Arsenal fans. But I think even more importantly is it debunks the myth that Mikel Arteta runs the club. What was stated a long time is that Arteta wants Šeško and Arsenal were prioritising Šeško. So a lot of upset Arsenal fans said, well, it means he runs a show. We've got a director of football that doesn't have the power and control he needs. Through the negotiations and the debates and the arguments internally, what we are now seeing is Mikel Arteta actually turn around and agree with the deal for Gyokeres. That's been stated by The Athletic and by David Ornstein. So this should also go a long way to calming some Arsenal fans down, understanding that Berta does have power, does have influence, and that actually they're working together as a unit and as a team, as opposed to there being this dictator type role. So there's a real positive there. But the big question is, does he win them the league? And that is a very polarised question, and it's a very hard one to answer, because Liverpool are the best team in England right now, and they have had a phenomenal summer transfer window and will buy more players. But Gyokeres could be that final piece. Doesn't mean Arsenal are not going to buy anybody else. You're going to get twisted here. If you're a toaster person, you're going to go, I don't get what you mean. They've still got to sign more players. How can he be the final piece? The order of which you sign people does not confirm their importance. So the final signing this summer doesn't necessarily mean that's the final piece of the jigsaw. Of course, the Ezes and the Rodrigo level players are also needed. But I think Gyokeres is a player that can help bring them in, can help to convince them to join. Can this signing, along with the others connected to it, win Arsenal the Premier League? Absolutely. This, to me, guarantees them in the title race next year. But this time around, they've got potency, they've got clinical edge, they've got a physical monster when it comes to that front line. And with the players that Arsenal were also looking at, listen, I know people hate it when I say it, but I'm going to say it again. This could be a very scary Arsenal team indeed. Do me a big favour and hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell notifications as well. The little bell next to the sub button. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.